Hello, my friends. This is Tosif. I'm back with a new live stream. The time right now is 12:52 a.m. This is March the 6th of 2026. Time is flying by. Here we are, almost towards the end of the first week of March. And there's a lot going on in the world, which is why Um, I do these live streams to bring to you the latest information as well as my analysis, my views, my thoughts on things that are happening around the world. I have a very strong interest in international relations, as some of you may have figured out already. It's something that I studied when I was pursuing a degree in political science. I studied comparative politics, I studied international relations, of course, I studied American politics too, and I'm very much involved in American politics. But international issues are of really great interest to me. And so, my friends, in this day and age, we are affected by things that are happening thousands and thousands of miles away from us. Okay, we are affected by things happening in other continents because we live in a global economy and there's trade, there are transactions happening every minute, every second, and so everything's interconnected. So while we are here in the US and I'm in the American Midwest, my life, my wallet will be impacted by things that are happening on the other side of the earth. And that's true pretty much for everyone. So, my friends, let's talk about the ongoing US-Iran conflict. And the question is, what's next for the Middle East? My friends, the war in the Middle East goes on. It's been days, but it has not been weeks. And I see that a lot of people are already quite impatient. A lot of people are asking a variety of questions. People are worried. And what I will tell you from my knowledge and experience, and you can accept my advice or you can completely disregard it, not a problem. What I will tell you is be patient. Be patient. I know that whenever there's conflict, armed conflict, people are worried. And that's a natural reaction. But we have to be patient. On the internet, I can see that people have a wide variety of options, and in fact, the live chat is open. You can share your thoughts, you can share your comments in the live chat. And I am very, very sure that we will get a wide variety of opinions. We will get a wide variety of opinions. There'll be people who will say President Trump is making the right decisions. Others will oppose the decisions made by President Trump. And there will be others who are probably not sure what conclusion to draw. So they're still watching, still trying to figure out what exactly is happening. So people have a wide variety of opinions, and that is normal. That is what I expect. You talk to the liberals, they have certain viewpoints. You talk to the conservatives, they have certain viewpoints. You talk to the independents, people who say that they are neither liberal nor conservative. They are the ones in the middle, independents. They may have a wide variety of opinions just among the independents. You talk to the libertarians, If you talk to them, you'll hear that they always tend to speak out against wars. Okay, they don't like military conflicts. They don't like military engagements. A lot of libertarians, they advocate for, isolationist policies. Although others will say that they support more global trade, but when it comes to military involvements, they try to advocate for isolationist policies, like don't get involved in foreign conflicts, don't get involved in wars, don't just stay home. I mean, that's what I have seen many libertarians push for. Okay, they want the military to just stay home and not have anything to do outside the borders of the US. Um, my friends, I think people in general don't want war, right? Human beings, what do they want? They want peace. Rational human beings, people who think rationally, people who understand logic and reason, I think there would be almost unanimous agreement that yes, we want peace, we don't want war. We don't want war, we want peace. But you know what? In reality, sometimes military conflicts are unavoidable. Sometimes wars do take place. Armies will have to be mobilized. And military strikes will have to happen. That's the reality. We live in reality. This is not, the world is not a perfect place. It never was. It probably will never be. In nature, we see things that are imperfect, and that's how the world is supposed to be. There are problems, there are crises that must be addressed, and sometimes military action is necessary. Think about recent history, my friends. By the way, those who are here, please make sure that you're subscribing and writing your thoughts and comments, your opinions, your viewpoints in the live chat. I would appreciate that very, very much. There's also a question that you can answer. How do you grade President Trump's handling of international relations with the Middle East? Specifically, talking about the Middle East, I'm not talking about President Trump's handling of international relations pertaining to the Indo-Pacific region or Africa or Europe. I'm talking particularly about Middle East. There are a few options. You can choose your option. Most people are saying either excellent, good, or fair. There are some who are saying not good, but if you add up the excellent, good, and fair, you'll see that that's a higher number. So most people approve of President Trump's handling of international relations with the Middle East, and there are others who are saying not good. All right, that's okay. I will keep the poll question open so you can answer. So as I was saying, think about recent history. The world really never had a zero war level. Like there was really no point in time in recorded history when there was zero conflict in the world. No, there's always something going on, big or small, some kind of conflict, some kind of war, some kind of, military, back and forth between two territories, two countries, or maybe there's civil war someplace. There's always something going on. There's always conflict present in some way, shape, or form somewhere on this planet, okay? And that's the reality. It is sad. We want 100% peace all over the world, but in reality, things are not perfect. So 100% peace, I don't know if we will ever get to that point where there's 100% peace. I don't know. Even right now, you keep the Middle East tension aside. There's the Ukraine-Russia war that is still going on. I know people are mostly talking about the Middle East now. And even today, as I'm doing this live stream, I have my television on, and I got my remote here. I can switch, I can change channels, and as I'm live streaming, I can look at what's going on. Is there any breaking news update or something? I'm just keeping an eye on the television here. And what I can tell you is that everyone's talking about the Middle East conflict, but you know what? Don't forget the Ukraine-Russia war. Don't forget that it's still going on. More people are talking about the Middle East, but don't forget the Ukraine-Russia war is still going on. And that is something that President Trump and his administration will try their best to stop the war between Ukraine and Russia. So hopefully I'll talk about that again during a different live stream. So my friends, as I've said before, I'm confident about President Trump. I've said this before. President Trump understands what people want. He understands what the American people are thinking about. He understands that we want peace, and I believe that the military action that President Trump has ordered, this military action is aimed at specific objectives that must be met. And I know that people are eager to know how long this war will be. I know that people have so many questions. People are going to ask, okay, there's military action. What are the specific objectives? By the way, I'm seeing our friends tuning in. We got Salerno, we got Evelyn who just tuned in. Evelyn, always wonderful to see you. Evelyn from Vegas. We got Salerno. Thank you, Salerno, for being here. We got Jane. Jane, are you new here? Or have you been here before? Jane? Are you from Texas, as the name says, Jane? Thanks for being here. And there are others who are tuning in. We got somebody named Mister over here. We got Sand. Who else do we have? Okay, Jane is from Texas. We got, is it Abby? Abby? Saying hello? All right. Please make sure that you're subscribing, okay? Make sure you're subscribing. Okay. Evelyn is saying Evelyn loves Texas. Evelyn, you're not that far from Texas, are you? I mean, you're sort of in that region, not too close, but not too far. Evelyn loves Texas. Evelyn's from Nevada, Las Vegas, and I love Las Vegas. Las Vegas is awesome. I love Texas too, obviously. Evelyn's saying about 1,300 miles. All right. That's not too bad. I mean, it's still far away. Still far away. Yeah, wow. 1,300 miles. Yeah. Well, Dallas, from where I live, Dallas is about, I'd say 1,000 miles, give or take. I mean, of course, it depends on where in Texas, right? I mean, if I'm going to Houston or, some other place down south, it's further away. Evelyn is born in Fort Worth. Yeah. So I've been to Dallas, Fort Worth area. Went to Grapevine, Texas. Grapevine, beautiful place. Anyway, let's continue. My friends, please make sure that getting to know each other in the live chat. Getting to know each other. Just share where you're from, your comments, your viewpoints. Uh, yeah. Evelyn is saying that she drove from Vegas to Dallas in 23 hours. Wow. I bet it was a beautiful drive. Driving in that part of the country, it's beautiful. You know? All right. Let's continue the conversation. Jane is saying Jane is in East Texas. All right. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you, Jane, for being here. And to anyone who may have subscribed today for the first time, thank you so very much. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the conversation. I know that people have a lot of questions. They want to know, how long will this war continue? How long will the military strikes continue? What are the specific objectives? People want to know, will there be more resources deployed, more military resources deployed in the region? People want to know if there will be troops on the ground in Iran, and so on and so forth. My friends, let me tell you something. And I'm not an expert in military affairs because I never served in the military. Okay, so I'm going to share that information with you up front so that you understand that whatever I'm saying is coming from someone who did not serve in the military. But I have tremendous respect for those who have served in the U.S. military and those who are serving now. I have had the great honor of meeting some amazing veterans. I've met World War II veterans. I've talked to them, and I've listened to the stories that they have shared. I remember meeting. This was quite a few years ago. A 94 at the time, a 94-year-old World War II veteran. I believe 94 or maybe 92, but he was more than 90 years old, most likely 94. He was telling me stories of days when he was a teenager and had such sharp memory, over the age of 90, and he could remember things from his teenage years. Truly amazing. Truly amazing. I mean, people with that kind of memory, they are blessed, absolutely blessed. And I've met with other World War II veterans and met with a lot of veterans, those who served in Vietnam and other places around the world. And I have tremendous respect for veterans, and I know that here on this channel, in the live chat, as part of this community, we have veterans. We have military veterans. And we thank them for their service. We thank them for everything that they did for our country. And so, as I'm talking about what's going on in Iran and in the Middle East in general, I'm sharing my viewpoints, but I'm not an expert in military affairs because I did not serve in the U.S. military. So if you have served in the military or you are serving in the military and you have thoughts you want to share, you can do that in the live chat, okay? All right. So, my friends, as I was saying, people have a lot of questions. Okay, how long is this war going to be? What are the objectives? Will more resources be deployed? Will there be troops on the ground in Iran? Let me tell you, from my perspective, I can tell you that military action, given the scale of Operation Epic Fury in the Middle East. It's highly complex, and it's ongoing. It's very complex. Um, so we have to wait. We have to wait for the conclusion of this action. People want to know, how long will this war be? Well, I don't think there's a way to put an expiration date on this military action. I don't think the president can, appear before the American people and say, oh, this is going to be only for, you know, however many weeks. I mean, there can be an estimate. The president can clearly state his intent. He can say, oh, I want this thing to conclude in a month, or I think it's going to be 2 months, or it's going to be 6 weeks. But you cannot, in a definite manner, put a date. You cannot say, oh, this military action that's ongoing, it's going to come to an end next month on such and such date. You just can't do that. You know. And what are the specific objectives? I don't think the military is going to share all that information, because then, you know, it's going to impact the operations. I mean, if the military publicizes the objectives, I don't think that's wise. There has to be an element of surprise in military action. You cannot let the opposition forces know about what may be coming, what the U.S. military may be thinking of doing. I mean, it's common sense. You don't have to be a military expert to know this. Whenever there's war, there has to be strategies that must be kept confidential. That's the nature of being in a conflict. People cannot just go out there and publicize what the next move is going to be. Okay? So, will there be more resources deployed? I guess the answer is it's on an as-needed basis. It's on an as-needed basis. The objectives that the United States military has going into the Middle East and launching this operation, the objectives will have to be met. And if that means more resources, I guess I guess the commander-in-chief will make that decision, and the Secretary of War, a highly capable individual, a true patriot, and they'll make the decision. Now the question: will there be troops on the ground in Iran? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer, and I don't think we will know the answer. We will just have to wait and see how the situation evolves, and what the conditions on the ground are, and what the administration decides to do. The government cannot disclose sensitive battle plans to the general public. You got to keep in mind that peace through strength is what we need. We need peace, and peace can be achieved through strength. There has to be show of strength. I know that people are eager to get answers to their questions, but you got to understand that this is a big military operation. But you know what? You just have to be grateful, because you know that the best and the brightest military minds are working on this. It's the commander-in-chief at the very top, Donald Trump, but he has highly intelligent, brilliant, highly capable advisors, people who are giving him information. It's not just Donald Trump alone. It's not just Donald Trump and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. But there are so many other people, a lot of people behind the scenes, giving President Trump the information that he can review and then plan the next steps. So, my friends, you got to keep in mind that Donald Trump is going to be the ultimate decision maker in this matter. He has advisors, he has people in the administration giving him recommendations regarding possible courses of action. But President Trump makes the final decision. That's why we call him the commander in chief. My friends, if you have confidence in President Trump's ability to handle international affairs, then just be patient. Just be patient. And you also have to keep in mind that we are not alone. We are not alone because we have very, very strong allies in that region. And, you just have to look at the Gulf states. Look at the Gulf states. Look at the Arab countries. And these friendships have been strengthened by President Trump's leadership and Secretary Marco Rubio's diplomacy. Talk about Qatar. One of the strongest allies that we have is Qatar. And then we have the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. These are all countries that are very much aligned with us, the United States of America. These are countries that are our allies. These are countries that will cooperate with the United States. They will stand with us. And so I want people to focus on the positives. Focus on the positives. Understand that we have friends, we have allies who we can work with, and we are. There's tremendous cooperation, and I think you can understand that. Cooperation between the United States and Qatar and Saudi Arabia and other countries in that region. By the way, let me see who's here. Selena is here. We got, who else? We got Nolan. We got DB saying, God bless America. Thank you so much. My friends, I think it would be great if everyone would just write God bless America in the live chat. Go ahead and do it. I would appreciate that very, very much. And I'll pause for a little bit before continuing. All right. And please make sure that you're subscribing and hitting the like button. I can see over a dozen likes already, close to kind of between a dozen and 2 dozen. Go ahead, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe if you have not done so yet. Okay, somebody is asking, no, I'm not from India. Okay, I see that question. I'm not from India. Okay, Salerno is saying, God bless America. Thank you, Salerno. Evelyn is saying, God bless the United States of America. Bill is here. Bill from Vegas. Bill says, greetings, everyone. God bless America, MAGA. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. All right. So, okay, my friends, let's continue. As I was saying, we have to focus on the positives. And I understand that many people are worried right now. But I'll tell you this, have faith. Have faith and things will be okay. Have faith. Keep in mind that we elected Donald Trump. We put him in power, and I've said this so many times. We are the ones who voted for Donald Trump to send him back to the White House, to send him back to the Oval Office, because we have confidence in his ability, because we trust him. And we know he's going to make the right decisions for this country. He's going to make the right decisions to keep us safe. He's going to make the right decisions to strengthen our military. He's going to make the right decisions to ensure that people can afford everyday necessities. My friends, I understand that some of you out there may be worried, but I'll tell you, have faith and things will be okay. You know, there are people out there, and you can probably see this on social media. There are people out there who try to argue, and they try to make the claim that the world is ending. Oh, the world is ending. There's this third world war. The world is ending. No, it's not. No, it's not. The world is not ending. The world has not ended. Here we are, using technology, using the internet, which is still available, to communicate right here on this platform. Here we are. I'm live streaming. You're watching. You're sharing your thoughts. You're asking me questions. The world has not ended. The world is not ending. We have internet. We have electricity. We have running water. In the morning, you go to the store. The stores are going to be open. You go to the store, you purchase items, you use your credit card, it's going to work. You go to the gas station, you'll be able to buy gas. My friends, the world has not ended. The world is not ending. There are challenges that we have to deal with. There are crises that we have to address. There are problems that we have to solve. But the world has not ended. Here we are, still here. My heat is working, my AC is working, my television's on. The refrigerator is working. The clock behind me is working. If it needs a new battery, I have extra battery at home. So I see a lot of fear-mongering out there. There is no need for that. There is no need for all this fear-mongering that the world is ending. It is not. Have faith. Some of you out there may be complaining, oh, the gas price has risen. Well, let me remind you, the gas price may have risen a little bit, but it's nothing compared to what we experienced when Joe Biden was in office. Remember, like gas right now in my city where I live, gas right now is under $3. Yes, it has risen by quite a bit, but it is still under $3 per gallon. But during Joe Biden's administration, gas price had reached $5 a gallon in Wisconsin. That happened during Joe Biden. But now here in Wisconsin, gas is still under $3 a gallon. The supply chain is still doing okay. People are still going to work here in the US. Stores are open. Businesses are running. And then you're going to say, oh, the stock market. Oh, I saw that big plunge. Dow fell. How many points was it? Let me check. 800 points or something? Oh, the Dow fell. Hold on a second. I'm going to check here. I forgot. Oh yeah, the Dow fell. 800 points approximately. Give or take 800 points. All right. All right, okay. Has that never happened before? Is it the first time in the history of the stock market that the Dow fell by 500 points, 600 points, 800 points, maybe 1,000 points? Is it for the first time? Have you never seen the Dow plunge and then recover within days or weeks? Do you think that the world is ending just because the Dow fell 700, 800 points? If people want to complain, they can. There are those who are just waiting for that opportunity to complain. If the Dow goes up 800 points, they don't, they're silent. They don't say anything because they don't want to give credit to Donald Trump. They don't want to say, oh, thank you, President Trump. Thank you. People are so confident about the economy. The Dow is jumping. It's going up. It's climbing. It's soaring. They're not going to say that. But, oh, the Dow fell. When it falls by a few hundred points, then they start screaming and chanting, oh, the Dow fell, the world's ending, the economy is destroyed. And then they blame Trump. The end goal is to blame Trump. That's what people do on the left. And they will look for every opportunity to blame Trump. Oh, the Dow fell. If the Dow goes up tomorrow, not tomorrow actually, this morning, when the market opens, if the Dow goes up, they're not going to thank Trump. But if the Dow falls, they're going to blame Trump. So, we know that. The world is not ending just because the Dow fell 800 points in a single day. Maybe within days or maybe a week from now, I don't know, I'm not going to make a prediction, but soon you may see the Dow climb by more than 800 points. You may see that. What are you going to say then? My friends, thank you all for being here. I got more to talk about. I'm just taking a little break. Please make sure that you're subscribing, okay? My friends, the real tragedy, and I'll tell you, the real tragedy is the loss of 6 U.S. military service members. That is heartbreaking. That we lost 6 brave military service members. It's heartbreaking. 6 precious lives lost. And we honor the lives of the U.S. military service members. And we pray for their departed souls. And we thank those who continue to fight, those who continue to defend the United States of America. My friends, a war is never easy. A war is always difficult. It's always difficult. But when a war must be fought, there's no other option. Sometimes there's no other option. The only option is war. And you can see, my friends, that our brave allies are acting in support of the United States of America. Our allies are also actively trying to counter threats. Our allies are strong. There have been attacks on the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia and Qatar and more. These are our allies. And sadly, they have also faced attacks during this ongoing conflict. Flights have been disrupted, travel and tourism affected, businesses impacted. But our Arab allies are continuing to stand alongside the United States, and the United States supports these wonderful allies that we have in the Middle East. Now let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz. Who wants to talk about the Strait of Hormuz? Do you know where the Strait of Hormuz is? To really understand why the Strait of Hormuz is so important, you have to look at the map of the Middle East and see exactly where the Strait of Hormuz is. Without seeing it on a map, without seeing the geography, you will not be able to understand its significance. Like Panama Canal, you have to see it on the map to know where the Panama Canal is and why it matters so much. So the Strait of Hormuz, it's what the world is looking at right now. Between Iran and Oman and a massive amount of oil, it's located between Iran and Oman, and a massive amount of oil is carried through the Strait of Hormuz every day. According to reports, it's approximately 20 million barrels a day, and 1/5 of the world's LNG, which is liquefied natural gas, goes through the Strait of Hormuz, which means if that flow is disrupted, the world's energy market is going to be severely impacted. Now, the shipping companies may be afraid to operate in that region. Shipping companies may be afraid to go through the Strait of Hormuz because of the ongoing conflicts, which would then cause a slowdown and impact the entire world. Maybe a few days of slowdown could be tolerated, but if it turns out to be a weeks-long slowdown, then that would be quite problematic. And so, about the insurers may be reluctant to provide coverage. Insurers may say, sorry, we're not going to provide insurance coverage for freight because the risk is high due to the ongoing war. Now, let me tell you that President Trump, our brave president, a president we elected, the great President Donald Trump, has said that there would be U.S. Navy escorts for ships in that region. And the Trump administration will also try to address matters pertaining to insurance coverage. So, my friends, there's a lot that we can talk about, but all I'm going to say is the following. It's time for people to remain calm. Remain calm, maintain a cool head. I think there is too much worry and anger among some people, including some people in the media who are busy trying to criticize and oppose the Trump administration, and they're doing it 24/7. They look for any opportunity to criticize President Trump and his administration. What I'm going to say is the following. Remain calm, just observe, do not panic, and have faith that things will be okay. And some of you may have seen this already, that Italy is going to be providing air defense systems, anti-drone and anti-missile systems to protect Arab allies. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Kay Cooper is here. Kay, good to see you. Thank you for being here, Kay. By the way, my friends, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. I would appreciate that very, very much. Subscribe. Kay Cooper, good to see you. We got Evelyn K. Cooper, Bill, and we got Selena. We got Salerno. Salerno is saying, I have faith in our president. Thank you, Salerno. So all I'm going to say is just have patience. Things are going to be okay. Pray. Keep the service members, military service members, U.S. military service members in your prayers. Pray for President Trump. Pray so that God gives him the strength to do everything that he is doing for the American people. I would appreciate that. I would appreciate that. So my friends, that's pretty much all I have for now. If you have questions, I can try to answer. If not, we're going to wrap up this live stream now. But I'm going to be back again with more videos and more live stream. People asking where I'm originally from. I'm originally from Bangladesh. Aaron over here goes by the name Fuzz. Aaron doesn't like my viewpoints. Okay. Okay, Aaron is saying you have no clue about basic economics and global supply and demand. Aaron, go ahead. Keep judging me. All right, Aaron? Go ahead. Keep judging me. All right, thank you. I'm not going to respond to you. That's all right. You can keep judging. Go ahead. Aaron from Canada. How is Canada doing? Canada doing okay with Mark Carney? Is Canada doing okay? Canada is in good hands, would you say, Aaron? You think Canada is doing better than the US? Oh, that's going to be a long discussion if we start that. You know what? Just keep in mind as you're looking at other world leaders, we got the greatest president. We got the greatest president. And that's Donald Trump, okay? And Canada, by the way, I love the people of Canada. I think they are wonderful people. I've been to Canada. I mean, it's a massive country. There are other provinces that I wanted to go to, but haven't had a chance to do so yet. I went to Toronto. I don't know, some people call it Toronto. I call it Toronto. Okay, that's how I pronounce it. Anyway, I've been to Toronto. I've been to a few other places. The people of Canada are great, but in terms of leadership, when you look at Mark Carney, when you look at Doug Ford, I mean, really, I mean, Canada is in desperate need of better leaders with real solid conservative values. Okay, people, leaders who would actually promote the private sector and not government. But anyway, I wish Canada all the very best. Canada actually, now that I think about it, Canada wants to be a part of the Golden Dome missile defense system. So Donald Trump is doing so much for the country and for the world, for the whole world. Board of Peace, we've talked about it. Donald Trump is doing so much for the whole world, but I'm focusing on what he's doing for the U.S. now. Donald Trump and his administration are working very hard on this Golden Dome missile defense system, which is going to be something that no one has ever seen. I mean, it's going to be the most advanced. I can't even describe it, okay, because I'm not an expert in that topic. Okay, but people who understand, the latest military technology, people who understand AI, people who understand just like high-tech military stuff, they're going to be able to talk a lot more about this. But what I understand is it's going to be something like, people have never seen before, the Golden Dome missile defense system, which is going to protect the United States. And Canada wants to be a part of that because Canada understands that what the United States is going to do, it's going to be the best in the world, and it's going to be, I mean, not just the best, but by far. I mean, it's going to be like there's not going to be anything that's second after this. This is going to be one and only. truly amazing. And for something like the Golden Dome missile defense system, it all starts with a vision. You're going to have that vision that we need something like this. We need something that's going to keep us safe. And we're talking about the Earth, we're talking about the space, and we're talking about everything in between. So I wish I could describe it more eloquently. I can't. But Canada wants to be a part of that, you know? So, yeah, Aaron. Aaron, I hope that makes you happy, because the Canadian leaders, Mark Carney and others, they recognize that what the U.S. is doing, it's just, there's not going to be anything else like this. Okay. And so they want to be a part of this. And we are always good neighbors. We are always good neighbors. The United States has treated Canada with a lot of respect. Actually, we've always treated Canada with a lot of respect. Canada has not been fair with us, especially in terms of trade. And when you look at border security at the northern border, Canada could have been a better neighbor. But anyway, we're not going to talk about the things that we felt disappointed about. But hopefully Canada is going to be a better neighbor going forward. But we, here in the U.S., we have always treated Canada extremely well, extremely well. And now Canada wants to be a part of the Golden Dome missile defense system. So, Fuzz, while you are here, criticizing me, which is fine. You can criticize me. I just want to say that the country that you're in, if I'm not mistaken, I think you've told me you're in Canada, right? The country that you're in, our goal is to have better relationship with Canada. Fair trade. Okay, fair trade. We recognize Canada is our neighbor. Canada can be a strong friend. Definitely Canada is an ally, although in recent months that relationship has been a little shaky, as you know. But hopefully, we can sort out the differences, and U.S. and Canada can once again have a very, very solid relationship. But this time it's going to be based on fair trade. Fair trade. That's what we need. That's what we need. Okay. All right. Any more questions for me? By the way, at some point we have to talk about Alberta, right? Alberta wants to not be a part of Canada. There are efforts there to detach Alberta from the rest of Canada. Maybe Alberta wants to join the U.S. What do you think? What do you think? Maybe Alberta is going to join the U.S. I mean, I'm not making a prediction. I'm just talking about a possibility there. What do you think, Fuzz? Aaron, what do you think? Do you think Alberta is gonna say Canada goodbye and then join the U.S.? Maybe you never know. Alberta would be a lot better off if it becomes a part of the union here. I think so. What do you think, Evelyn? Evelyn, what do you think? Kay Cooper, our friend Kay. Salerno, what do you think? Is Alberta going to be better off if it becomes a part of the U.S.? I want to hear your thoughts. I'm just presenting a question. Fred is here. Hello, Fred. Good to see you. Salerno has the information. Salerno is saying yes, they want to join us. It doesn't surprise me, Salerno. The people of Alberta, they are smart. They are smart. They're very intelligent people, good people, hardworking people, which is why they have launched this effort to detach themselves from Canada, the rest of Canada. Go ahead. Share your thoughts. Jane in Texas is saying, I think the people in Alberta want to. Yeah, that's what I understand also. The people in Alberta, they want to join the U.S. And it is possible, geographically, it's possible. We share a border with Alberta, so it's possible. Let me look at the map again. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look at the map. All right, Alberta, Canada. Yeah, what a beautiful what a beautiful border we share. Ah, beautiful Montana. All right. Okay, Aaron is saying a small fraction of Alberta wants to, the rest of Alberta and Canada doesn't pay attention to them. So Aaron, have you could you share the details of the study that you've done, if you've done one on Alberta? Maybe you've got I don't know. Do you have a research paper, a comprehensive survey of the political landscape of the great Alberta? Have you done that? Because if you have, I mean, you seem pretty knowledgeable, talking about small fractions and all that. If you have a paper like that, published in some journal, or maybe going through the process of peer review right now, not published yet, I'd be curious to read it. Very precise, like a small fraction of Alberta wants to, but the rest no. The rest, I mean, you've done the studies, Aaron. You've done the comprehensive survey of the political landscape, of the minds of the people of Alberta, what they want and what they don't. We're talking very specific, like fractions here. I would be curious to read your paper if you've got one, Aaron. All right. Yeah, go ahead. 58 minutes into the live stream here now. In a minute, it's going to be an hour. Okay, time flies, huh? Okay. Fuzz is saying it's not much of an issue. Most Americans probably don't care. So Aaron, you're not only an expert, it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not only an expert on political affairs of Alberta and the rest of Canada, but you also have very precise information, it seems, about the mindset of the Americans. You're saying most Americans probably don't care. How did you draw that conclusion? How did you draw that conclusion? I know folks who are closely observing what's going on in our neighboring country, including what's happening in in Alberta. And I mean, most Americans, I believe, care about Canada because, as I've said, we want to be good neighbors. We want to be good neighbors. When Canadians visit the U.S., they get very good treatment over here. They are, they enjoy the American hospitality. They enjoy the great food that we have. They enjoy the beautiful weather that we have. A lot of Canadians, where they go? They go to Vegas because Vegas is amazing, and they have great time in Vegas. The beautiful hotels and everything, restaurants, and so much of entertainment. A lot of Canadians, Evelyn, you are in Vegas, so tell me. And Bill, is Bill here also, or did Bill leave? Do Canadians not go to Vegas? Do Canadians not go to Vegas? I think Canadians go to Vegas. They go to Florida too, by the way. They go to Florida. They go to Texas. Oh yeah, Salerno is saying they love Florida too. Oh, of course. I bet they go to Alabama. Also Louisiana. Don't forget Louisiana. That's where our great Speaker of the House is from, Louisiana. Canadians go to Louisiana also. So yeah, I think most Americans think about Canada, and we think about how we can be even nicer to our neighbors to the north, to the Canadians. And the Canadians love the U.S. The Canadians love the U.S., which is why they come here. They travel south. In Wisconsin, in the summer, you're gonna see Canadian license plates on the roads, on the highways. You know that? I mean, I see those license plates, Canadian license plates. All right. By the way, those who are watching and you've not subscribed yet, please do so. Anyway, Aaron, we appreciate you being here. We love having our Canadian neighbors, tune in for these live streams. Absolutely. So thank you, Aaron. I appreciate. I mean, we disagree on stuff. It's obvious, but I appreciate your presence here. Okay. Although you seem to suggest that I don't know basic economics, which I do know. I do know basic economics. Trust me. I know more than basic economics. But that's all right. That's all right. It's okay. It's okay, Aaron. All right. All right. Okay, let me wrap this up. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so very much. Thanks for continuing to support this channel. Stay connected, subscribe, share this video if you've not done so yet. And let's pray for our U.S. military service members. Let's pray for our allies. Let's pray for our great president and his allies in Washington, Republican allies, our great Republican leaders. So thank you also very much for continuing to support this channel by subscribing. It doesn't cost you any money. You just hit the subscribe button and stay connected. Thank you so very much. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap this up now. It's 1:57 a.m. But I'm going to be back again with more videos and more live stream. So thank you all so very much. May God bless you all. May God bless President Donald J. Trump. May God bless the Trump administration. May God bless the Republicans in Washington. May God bless the United States of America. And may God bless our U.S. allies, including Canada. You know, um, we may have some tension, trade related, but hopefully things will get better. And may God bless freedom loving people all over the world. Thank you so very much. Have a good night. I'll see you soon.